Hello everyone, welcome to your October astrological forecast video. My name is Jai Govind. This is your channel for grace. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you for those of you guys that are already subscribed. Please hit that notification bell so you get notified of when I go live and when I upload videos. And also give this video a thumbs up so we can get it circulating. Feel free to share this out with your friends. There's going to be so much information in this video. It is jam-packed. These monthly videos are definitely jam-packed with information. I have intuitively selected very specific and very important dates for this month that talk about specific astrological transits that are going on that are going to be affecting us in a major way. And so before we get into the charts, I'll let you know a little bit of what's happening in October, a couple of announcements for October. The first one is that we have, Jason and I from Ray of Light Tarot, have our course, our 6-week course called Finding the Magic Playground, starting on October 13th, which is the full moon in Aries, which we'll talk about a little bit here. But this 6-week course is to help you step into manifesting, to learn how to be more creative with your life, with your everyday life, how to bring that creativity into your daily life, and also to help you understand your natal astrology chart, because part of the 6-week course is you get a general astrology reading from me, looking at your natal chart, and also you get the map of destiny reading from Jason. This will happen in a one-on-one session with both of us. So you will get definitely some personal attention and coaching when it comes to this program. Again, that's happening or starting on October 13th. The details are in the link in the description of this video. So make sure you click that link and check it out. Jason and I will be going live and doing a few videos, I think about one a week, that where we're going to give you a little bit of a preview of some of the topics that we're going to cover, but the full information is on that link. So make sure you check it out, and it's going to be an amazing, amazing journey. And after you see the astrology of this month, you're going to see that we're exactly aligning in a very powerful way with these energies during this class. And you're going to want to be here. You're not going to want to miss this opportunity. So check that out as well. The other really awesome thing that's happening in October is my natal astrology readings are finally coming out. I'm super excited. This is going to be a very powerful and very in-depth reading. I just want to tell you guys that because this isn't going to be kind of a general information about your chart. I'm going to go deep, and we're going to talk about your purpose. The things that this session is going to include once you sign up for it is there's going to be a 90 minutes to 2 hours of recorded and live session one-on-one with me, where I literally go over all of the information that I looked at in your chart. You're going to get a written astrological report written by me. We're going to talk about major life and spiritual awakenings based off of Saturn return, Uranus oppositions, and Chiron return. And we'll take a deep look at your life purpose and your gifts based off of the aspects that Chiron are making in your chart to the North Node itself, the 6th, 9th, 11th, and 12th houses, and what's going on in those houses for you. We'll also take a look at the current transits and how they're affecting you. And I'm going to do this for everybody. There are some major transits that are happening in 2020 that are going to be affecting us in a very personal way. And I will look at those in comparison to your natal chart and see where those things are happening in your chart and how they're going to be affecting you. And then at the end of the session, we'll talk about a strategy for moving forward, because I don't want to just leave you with all this information and nothing to do with it, and you don't know what to do with it. So I'm already thinking that a lot of people that get these astrology sessions are going to want to do coaching with me after that. So I'm just planting a seed that's a possibility, because what you're going to receive is a huge download about you and your life. So if you're ready, I highly recommend you get one of these readings. And the last announcement before we get into these charts for October is that my Etsy shop called Eagle Star Jewels is on sale. The whole thing is on sale. Everything in the store is on sale. 50% off until the end of September. This video is coming out on September 23rd, and it is actually premiering. So welcome everyone to the live chat. I am actually in the chat with you guys. If you have questions during this video while it's going on, I'm here to answer questions for you. This whole premiere thing is new to me, but it's also very exciting. So it's kind of like a live because I am here in the chat with you guys. And also today is the fall equinox. Today is the day that the sun enters into Libra. So happy birthday, all of the Libra babies. And it is the beginning of the fall, which is an entire new season for us to start to dive in, to go more into the inner realm, the inner workings of our life, our soul. And that's where all this Scorpio energy is going to start coming in. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But without further ado, let us get into the charts for October. So in this video, what it really is, like I said, going through very specific transits that are happening that are significant. These aren't the only transits that are happening, but they are intuitively, they have intuitively come to me as the most important. So if you feel called to this video and you're watching this video right now, then just trust that your intuition guided you here and you're meant to see this information. And there will be something that you're going to learn, that you're going to observe, that you're going to find is really going to help you from this video. And as we go through the month of October, I go live during every new moon and full moon doing a ceremony, and also a few days before to talk about the astrology of the new moon as well as the full moon. And if there's any other things that come up during the month, and this month I can tell you now there's going to be a couple of transits that are so complex that I'm going to save to talk about while they're happening. So I will give you a little information about them, but they're mostly going to be talked about, especially during the full moon, which is going to be a crazy transit. And also they're happening between the 10th and the 21st of the month, and they're kind of ongoing. They like form and then lighten and then get heavier and lighter. And it's going to be a theme for us. And I'm calling this video Passionate Determination because we're going to see all this Scorpio energy start to move into the field, the playing field for us. And we're going to feel that intense desire to really go within and to understand ourselves at a very deeper level and to understand exactly where it is that we're going and our goals. So let us open up the charts. I am going to make sure that we are connected by going to my iPad. So just give me 1 second. And I really, really appreciate you guys being here and watching this video while it's premiering, and also while it is being replayed if you're watching the replay. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's fix this. Here we go. That's a little too big. Oh my God, this is funny. Okay, so now that I've got it where I want it, I'm going to switch screens. And here we go. You should be able to hear me and see our very first chart for October 3rd. So I've got tons of notes, which I'm going to be looking at during this broadcast. So if you have questions about anything that I'm saying, make sure you ask in the live chat, or if you're watching the replay, leave a comment under this video, because I will look at all those comments and try to get back to everybody if you guys do end up having questions. And remember that when I do my individual sun sign, rising sign, moon, and Venus videos, which will be coming out at the end of this week on Friday the 27th, be on the lookout for those. I'm going to go over each of these aspects and how they're going to be affecting your rising sign, mostly individually, in which house it's going to be happening in for you and what you can expect. So those go into like more of a personal affect. This is more of a collective information. So here we go. We start the month off with a very powerful planet, which is Pluto, which is right here, going direct. Now, Pluto is the planet of transformation. When it's retrograde, which it is retrograde right now, it's going to be going direct October 3rd, the transformation takes the flavor of inner workings, which is what we've all been working on. When direct, however, it takes the flavor of outer workings, which means that it's going to begin transforming our outer world, as well as beginning its journey towards that Pluto-Saturn conjunction. You see them, they're getting close. They're both direct now, or they're going to be both direct at this point. And this conjunction is going exact in January of 2020, in which we're going to see huge changes to our external environment when it comes to organizations and governments. On this same day, Mercury moves into Scorpio, and you can see it right over here. Mercury in Scorpio is the exceptional researcher and investigator that has an intriguing, intuitive, curious mind that wants to dig deep for information. This is like the no BS zone. We're going to be repelled, literally repelled, and have no interest in engaging with things that are trivial, with things that are just on the surface. We're going to want to go way deeper than that. Those things we won't be interested in those. Now, Mercury in Scorpio is going to help us make decisions because it brings this like determined energy, this very decisive energy, and a stubbornness that will keep us focused on our goals. I think that at this point, up to this point in the astrology, we've been trying to figure out what our path is. We've been seeing revelation after revelation about ourselves, our lives, and the people that we engage with, whether this is friends, family, partners. And we've been feeling a pull towards cleaning up our act and stepping into more clarity in our lives. And now that Saturn has gone direct and Mercury has moved into Scorpio, we're going to be able to know what to focus on. Uranus in Taurus will be beginning an opposition to Mercury that will be exact on the 7th of October, but it actually begins as Mercury moves into Scorpio. And that's happening right here. You've got Taurus and Uranus right here, and you've got the opposition to Mercury right on the other side. This means that as we focus on our goals, Uranus is going to mirror back to us, because that's what oppositions do. They're mirrors to us. It will be mirroring back to us and showing us the bigger picture of the fact that we are building a new world and moving into the age of Aquarius. Uranus rules the sign of Aquarius. So Uranus is saying, are your goals and you aligned with this higher, earthly, expansive, planetary shift? And if you're not, it's okay. But for those of us that are called to a higher path, the path of the way shower, the path to spiritual evolution, those that are being called to be examples of how to anchor the light in 3D, this is what Uranus will be reminding us. Are you aligning with that higher vision? Or have you lost your way? Uranus says, you are unique. Don't forget that. The moon is also going to be conjuncting Jupiter at exactly 18 degrees. You can see that right over here in freaking Sagittarius. The moon in Sagittarius does not like its independence taken away. Sagittarius is a very independent sign. And so it avoids any emotional ties that holds them back from being truly free. Sagittarians can be a little bit like cutthroat energy in the sense of they're going to be really honest with you about how you feel, even if it hurts your feelings, because you see, their independence will not be sacrificed, because that is the most important thing to this Sagittarius energy. But that's what makes it an expansive energy, because it will let nothing hold it back. And this fiery, freedom-loving energy working together with Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion, and it is direct in its home sign of Sagittarius. This becomes a party. This becomes an expansion party. So we've literally got Mercury and Uranus having this conversation of, are you aligned with deeper truth? Are you aligned with the higher vision of the planet? Are you looking for the information in the right places? Are you focused on your true goals? While Pluto over here says, let's start to change things up. Let's start to transform our reality, to transform the 3D. And then you've got the moon and Jupiter looking at each other saying, this is going to be fun, because they're all for it. They're like, let's do this. I'm ready. That's literally what we start October with. It's going to be an epic month. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not going to be any hard transits. There's going to be very challenging transits this month. I'm not going to lie. Scorpio energy is not the easiest. And more planets start to move into Scorpio, as you will see. But it is going to be an epic month if you are on top of your ish. And if you're accessing the positive aspects of these transits. Because if you're not on top of it, you're going to get literally run over by it. It's like the stampede of this excited energy is coming and you're like Simba. That's kind of a sad analogy. But you're Simba and you're like, you need to get out of the way. If you're not going to be joining it, you need to get out of the way. You can't try to stop it. You will not stop this train. You will not be able to stop this. So I suggest that you get on the boat now. And what these planets are saying are, fix your life. Face your fears. Remove yourself from toxic situations. Move on. Let go of the attachment that everything was supposed to be this way or that way, and actually embrace the unknown. Let the unknown become known by stepping into the unknown, by taking another step towards it. I literally have a song with those words. It's called I Take Another Step. But there's wisdom in that message. The unknown becomes known. And this is what October is about. If you let it, if you are following that energetic flow and not literally not going against it. And then we've got just a few hours later. Let's move to the next chart. Okay, here's the next chart. A few hours later, we've got Mars moving into Libra, right here. Mars moves into Libra. It's also opposing Chiron, which is in Aries. So Mars in Libra, with Mars in Libra, what we're going to start seeing is a drive towards cooperating with other people or working together with other people in some kind of way. The only thing that can hold this energy back is our inability to decide, which is Libra. Or our desire to make sure everybody's happy, that, everybody feels good. Like, no, everybody's not going to be happy. So we're going to have to be strategic about how we maneuver this energy. And because Libra is a mental energy, it's air, this is going to be experienced as thought processes or things that go through our mind versus what we just had about drive with Virgo and Mars, which was very earthly and in this physical world. So this is more our minds. It's going to be conflicting energy because Mars in Libra can get a little lazy. So to take the best out of this energy, we need to make up our minds and use our intuition to socialize, work with other people that are at a higher frequency or that are going to help bring you up and not down energetically. It's a good energy because it starts to help us move out from this very individual focus to a group focus, or working together with other people focus, or collaboration focus. But as long as you are with the right people, it's going to help you move forwards and not backwards. Chiron opposing this will bring up that mirror again and show us what still needs to be healed in the realm of relationships, in the realm of drive, desire to move forward in life, taking action. Chiron will help us see it clearly, and then our drive will have to focus on our relationships and building healthier relationships with ourselves, but also with others. Let's move to October 7th. Here we go. October 7th. So on October 7th, let me move this little guy over for my own purposes. On October 7th, the Sun in Libra is going to be squaring Saturn in Capricorn. So there's the Sun, there's Saturn, and there's the square. And this is also the day where Mercury opposes Uranus exactly, because you can see they're at 5 degrees and 5 degrees. So this is that transit that we already talked about is going exact on this day. But let's talk about the Sun and Saturn. So the Sun in Libra is a very loving energy. It wants to be connected and social with people. It loves balance. It loves equal ground. It loves relationships. But Saturn in Capricorn is very ambitious and disciplined energy. It's the most ambitious and disciplined energy in the chart. So when these two are squaring, literally like squaring, the word squaring just sounds like, oh my God, that's so gnarly. But that's kind of what a square is. So when these two planets are squaring, there's an issue that needs to be resolved. An obstacle of some sort might appear on your path at this point. And the way to resolve it is going to be to literally face it head on and resolve it instantly, because otherwise it will get worse. This could be a potential conflict with a superior in your job or career, or with someone that stands in between you and your goals, which we already talked about are very important to us this month. Like, our goals are going to be what we're moving towards. So if anything gets in between them, this day you'll feel it. You're definitely going to feel it. Now, the next day, I'm getting better and better at this transition. The next day, on October 8th, Venus moves into Scorpio. There it is, 0 degrees of Scorpio. It's literally, okay, Venus is going to leave its home sign of Libra and move into Scorpio and turn into a monster. I'm just kidding. But for reals, Venus in Scorpio will give us the ability to fully appreciate and understand others' emotional depth and sensitivity as well as our own. We're going to tend towards being a little more reserved during this time as well, and wanting to protect ourselves from being hurt by others, as well as being protective of those we love. We have to be careful with these energies of possessiveness and jealousy, because Scorpio is very possessive and jealous. It can be, right? It can be. And so when it's in Venus, it's like, well, this really has to do with your relationships. Because these energies undermine our relationships, and they're not healthy energies at all. If it feels like your relationships start going from stormy to serene and vice versa, this can be a very scorpionic energy in Venus. Venus also rules kind of like finances. And so on a financial level, this is a good energy because Scorpio knows how to be shrewd with money and handles money really well. So we will most likely in this realm meet and exceed our financial goals. And that's awesome. That really is awesome. Let's look at what happens on the 13th, which is actually epic. The 13th is the full moon in Aries, and also the day that begins the course Finding the Magic Playground. So on the 13th, On the 13th, we are literally beginning a new lunar cycle. And this is going to be a powerful full moon, not only because of this, but because there's a very special formation called the kite that's happening at the time of the full moon. So I'll just take a moment to show you where these things are. The full moon, the moon will be in Aries, 20 degrees, opposing the sun at 20 degrees. And the kite that we're talking about involves Neptune, the North Node, Mercury, and Saturn in the South Node. So a kite is a combination of a grand trine, which is a very harmonious energy, with two sextiles that point directly to a fourth point, which is the top of the kite. And let me show you this grand trine. So the grand trine is right here. Mercury trining North Node, trining Neptune, and then Neptune trining Mercury. That's a grand trine, you guys. Any of you guys have a grand trine on your natal chart? I have one. I actually have a kite in my chart. It's actually pretty intense. It's not an easy energy, but it starts with harmony and then it shows you how to figure it out. It's really cool. It's really cool how kites work. But this grand trine is actually a water grand trine because it's 3 water energies. It's Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. These 3 water energies make this trine. So this is going to encourage compassion and indicate massive psychic ability. Now, the grand trine involves Mercury in Scorpio, the North Node in Cancer, and Neptune in Pisces, and they're all pointing towards Saturn and the North Node. So here's where these 2 sextiles happen. So Saturn and the North Node sextile Neptune, and then they sextile Mercury, and then oppose the initial point. So there you see a kite. Literally, it's a kite. So this kite is a theme of this month. And it's actually something that travels through the sky from the 10th through the 21st. And it takes a few different variations. So I'm going to be talking about it in more detail during the full moon astrology video because it's just like massive amounts of information that I cannot go over in, like, this video will end up being like 2 hours long. But know that this energy is significant for October and not just the full moon. So what's happening with this full moon, though, is that we're basically combining our deep knowledge and communication skills of Mercury and Scorpio with our desire to move forward towards emotional clarity and a general sense of understanding our emotions on our path to purpose, which is North Node, and then Neptune in Pisces activating our dreams, making us look further into the unknown. And all of this energy is being channeled through Saturn, direct in Capricorn, which is the energy of being disciplined about our path and very responsible to get things accomplished, but also the South Node of releasing karmic old patterns. The moon on this day right here is also going to be trining Jupiter. This is going to be an epic thing. And it'll also be squaring Saturn. This is just getting complicated now, but it's okay. The square is going to add friction to the equation and try to get us to feel negative emotions as well as help us desire to be more in control of our lives. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. And then the trine to Jupiter is going to help balance this out and bring in the sense of fortune, good luck, optimism, and an unwavering faith in ourselves and the universe. This is amazing. This is the day that Finding the Magic Playground begins. This is the day that we're also starting the 40-day magic cleanse. This is it. This is where we get we streamline it and we focus it. We're going to talk about this in more detail during that full moon astrology video a few days before the full moon. But just so you know, this day is a day of further discovering how we are aligning with the ascension of the planet. It's a theme that continues from the last full moon in Pisces. So just know that these themes that have been happening for us, they've been happening for a while. They've been coming together for a while. There's also, at the end of this month we have a new moon in Scorpio, and that's going to add more of an equation. And remember that we're moving towards eclipses. Like in December and January, we're going to have eclipses again. So, but these full moons just keep bringing these massive alignments. Like a kite is no joke. A kite is a huge like these don't happen very often. You need to have planets in very specific points to even have this conversation. So it's like, it's jam-packed, and this kite just kind of moves around in a spiral throughout the whole month. Wow, I just really like did some crazy stuff with that chart. So that is the full moon. Let's move on to October 23rd, where the sun, dun dun dun, enters Scorpio. The sun enters Scorpio. We are literally entering into a mysterious and intense energy. This theme, the theme that we actually begin the month with, remember when Mercury went into Scorpio? And then Venus went into Scorpio, is now solidified when the sun enters Scorpio. And the theme is a passionate drive that brings in the determination to achieve our goals, both personally and professionally. So for Scorpio, the word failure is not part of the vocabulary. This is also an energy of transformation because the ruling planet of Scorpio is Pluto, and it is now direct in Capricorn. And it went direct on the same day that we had our first planet move into Scorpio, which was Mercury. So Scorpio activates the power and potential for change. And because the sun is now in Scorpio, we're going to embody this change within us, within who we are, within our being, within our identity. This is going to be a big deal for Scorpios because this is going to be happening in their first house. So we're traveling through the zodiac, right? Every month we're traveling through the zodiac, and now we arrive at a time to find our inner power and the depth within ourselves. And as we begin to discover what lies underneath the surface, and we sense strongly that others people's intentions are, we get very clear, we know very clearly what other people's intentions are, because Scorpios are very intuitive like that, very psychic like that. As we get this intuitive power, as we feel it, like surface, we realize very clearly whether we are on the right path or not. This is about being in our power, but it's also finding a balance between being powerful and having power or being ruthless with it. And I know there's situations where sometimes we need to be ruthless with people because they don't understand otherwise. And sometimes being ruthless is not the best form of action. So you have to use your powers of intuition that come with this Scorpio energy to figure out where you are at and how you're going to get where you're going. Because we all have Scorpio in our charts. Even if you don't have any planets in Scorpio, you still have a house in Scorpio. And if you look at that house, you're going to be able to figure out like what that means for you. And I can help you figure that out if I look at your natal chart. Now, I believe this is the last, there's a couple more things. There's a couple more charts. So October 27th is another powerful day because we have a new moon in Scorpio at 4 degrees. The sun and the moon are conjunct, and this is a passionate new beginning. This moon in Scorpio is deeply passionate. It's intense, and it's also unwavering. When the moon is in Scorpio, we can also be very private and secretive because that's how we feel the safest. But that doesn't mean that we're antisocial. It just means that we can be a little bit withdrawn but very focused. This moon will be trining the north node and opposing Uranus exactly at 4 degrees. So there's the north node, there's Uranus. It'll be trining the north node and opposing Uranus. And this Uranus is an exact opposition, 4 degrees. We've had this theme this month about finding out who we are and what we are passionate about and what we want to focus all our energy on. And on this day, we literally get a chance to connect it with the North Node, which is in Cancer, and it points us towards our purpose. And this is significant because the moon is ruled by Cancer. So this trine will awaken both the power of Scorpio to focus with passion and the power of Cancer to feel deeply with the power of the North Node to guide us towards our destiny. It's this really beautiful combination of watery, flowy energy helping us flow towards more self-love, very deep understanding of ourselves, our emotions, and our desires. So what I would say is, if by this point you still don't have a sense of who you are and you don't feel confident about who you are and where you're going, this is going to be in conflict with where you're actually at. But even if you're not in this energy, the new moon will literally pull you towards it. So setting our intentions during this new moon will be all about how you're going to build your future, aligning with a heightened ability to feel and intuit your next step. It's actually a really powerful moment. And with the exact opposition, with Uranus at 4 degrees, get ready, and I'm being serious about this, get ready for relationships to end suddenly. Because you're going to want to embrace your free spirit and independent soul with this rebellious energy. And you're going to want to break all the rules. And you will have absolutely zero tolerance or time for anything that gets in the way of your true path. Which is really how we should all be. But then we start feeling bad because we end up having to be a little bit ruthless with people. But the truth is that there's a focus that we're going towards. And that's what we need to remember. And that's the most important. We're also going to feel like the time is now to make changes to allow yourself to flow into perpetual motion, knowing that the one constant that we know of is change. Things will always change. And if you can stay on top of that energy and go with the flow of the changes, you will be taking this energy of this new moon and using it very wisely to build a future where you're actually okay with the flow of life and the changes that always show up as doors to our spiritual growth and ascension. And I'm going to be covering that in the new moon astrology video when I do it this month. We're going to talk about 2 more things here. The first one is how we end the month. We end the month with an important conversation between Mercury and Venus. And we saw this in September, but it was in Libra. Or no, it was in Virgo. So look at this right here. Venus and Mercury at exactly 27 degrees of Scorpio means they're conjunct and they are trining Chiron in Aries. Mercury is actually stationary at this point. It's getting ready to go retrograde. Mercury conjunct Venus is an excellent communication and conversation skills. But since they're in Scorpio, and Scorpio is a very reserved energy, this might serve for us to listen to our inner thoughts and desires. And it could also manifest as a desire to learn the truth about a relationship that you're currently in at the moment. It's definitely going to awaken a desire to dive deeper into understanding our relationships. And the trine to Chiron brings up, with Mercury, a connection to occult knowledge from ancient cultures, literally. And with Venus, a recollection of karmic relationships that you may have had in the past that is repeating itself today. So if you find yourself in a dilemma, look for the clues, look for the signs that lead you towards information, which is Mercury, that you need to know to figure out what is going on beneath the surface of your experiences. If there's seriously something that's going on right now with your relationship that doesn't feel right, the truth is coming out. So do what you can to figure out the truth. And that's what we end the month with. I mean, it's kind of a little intense. Let me switch over to moi again. And I'll tell you about, there's a little bit left, and it has to do with what, because I don't want to end it right there, because then it's like, what is that? But I do want to tell you what, like a little preview of what November brings. Because November, we basically start November with Mercury in retrograde from the 1st through the 18th. And the sun eventually moves into Sagittarius on the 22nd of November, and then Neptune goes direct. I mean, this is like an energy of all of these planets are finally going direct. I mean, we just had Saturn go direct. Next, we're having Pluto go direct. Next, we're having Neptune go direct. I mean, Mercury will go retrograde, but Mercury travels really fast. So it goes from, being retrograde to direct very quickly. So it's not that big of an issue having Mercury retrograde, but just know that like we end October with like this like kind of Mercury stationary, and it's going to feel like, it stopped because it's getting ready to go forward, but it's not retrograde or forward yet, but it's kind of like in a standstill. And then it makes this conjunction to Venus, and it's all in Scorpio, and then it's trining Chiron. So it's like this, I don't know, it's a lot. It's a lot to end the month with. And it almost seems like we begin to like really go deep. Like when it comes to relationships and knowing and understanding and being able to communicate in our relationships in a very like deep way. If you're not able to communicate in a deep way, you have to find ways to do it. But the truth will be coming out with that trine to Chiron. The truth will start to come out, especially when it comes to relationships that are not working out. If it's a karmic thing that you need to resolve and move forward from, or you haven't learned from it yet, but you're in the process of learning from it, it will come out like at the end of this month, right before Halloween. Then we have Halloween, and then Mercury goes retrograde. So just like so the full moons and the new moons are going to be really powerful energies for us to like take advantage of those times. One of the things we're going to be teaching in the Finding the Magic Playground course is actually about how to use the moon and the cycles of the moon to help you manifest. But not just manifest, because we talk about manifesting in this like really general way. It's more than that. We're going to teach you way more than that. Because manifesting, you have to have this basic knowledge about manifesting in order to actually manifest what you want. It's not just about, I'm just going to go manifest now. No, it's not like that. You have to have the knowledge and the basic foundational knowledge to understand what's going on. And once you understand like the law of attraction and how it all works, the law of the universe, then you can use it to help you do what you actually want it to do, or what you want to manifest in your life. So this month, the reason I'm calling it passionate determination is because we get to understand ourselves on a deep level, and we get to step into passion more than anything else. And I think that is the coolest, energy that we can that can house and hold this like course, the 6-week course that we're like embarking on the day of the full moon in Aries, which is the beginning of a lunar cycle. The full moons begin over with Aries, and then Taurus, and then Gemini. And so it gets really beautiful. It gets really intense and powerful. The energies are not going to get any easier. That's one thing I'm going to tell you guys. The energies are not going to get any easier. It will start intensifying, right? Because then we move into Sagittarius, and then we move into Capricorn energy. Right? It's like it's just going to intensify more and more. So follow, the reason I make this video, I have been making this video, is so that you get like an overview picture of the whole month, and you can prepare yourself, like literally put these dates in your calendar and give yourself like time to prepare, because this is big. This is big stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching, for being here in the live chats, for also watching the replay, and for all your questions. I appreciate your questions. Share this video out with your friends, you guys. Let people know that it's here. This is like tons of information that I wish I had like, you know, a while back. But now that I'm able to provide it, it's really, I love it. It's a passion for me. This is me being passionately determined to bring more light to the world, like passionately determined to like anchor the light, like Matt Kahn likes to say, anchor the light. Oh, I just love that. And I love you guys. And don't forget to click the link below to check out more information about Finding the Magic Playground course that starts October 13th. And also our astrology readings, natal astrology readings, will be available starting October. And also check out my Etsy store, Eagle Star Jewels, to get 50% off of everything until the end of September. And look out for your individual sun sign, rising sign, moon, and Venus videos coming out at the end of this week on the 27th. On Friday, I'm going to release all of them. They're all coming out on Friday. And what those videos will be is all of these things that I just went over. I'm going to say, okay, this thing is happening for you, Sagittarius, in this house, and this is how it's going to affect you. So those are going to be really powerful. And at the end of that, after I go through those transits in your individual sign, I'm going to do a tarot reading for the month of October. So I love you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing October. Step into passionate determination. Okay? Get ready to step into passionate determination. Tomorrow is the day where I'm going to actually go live and do the live new moon astrology, because this Saturday on September 28th, we have our new moon in Libra, and it's going to be beautiful, and you're going to love the energies of this new moon. But remember, I go live tomorrow on the, let me make sure I got the right dates, the 24th. And also I go live on Saturday the 28th for the new moon ceremony. I love you guys. See you guys soon. Sat Nam.